Hey, what's going on everyone? Waseem back with another fragrance video. This time I'm doing a review of Meharees. Meharees is classified as Oriental Spicy. I could not find the release date or the perfumate at all on the internet, so let's just move over to the notes. So at the top you're going to get bergamot, orange, rose and cinnamon. The heart of the fragrance is cedarwood, guyakwood, patchouli and sandalwood. And the base of the fragrance is vanilla, musk and amber. So those are the notes, but what do I really get on my skin and what does the fragrance really smell like? For me, the opening of Meharees is incredibly strong. It's very harsh in the opening. I get a very strong medicinal vibe. The main notes I get in the opening is the clove. Now the clove isn't listed as an official note, but it's definitely there and it's very genuine and very authentic. Clove in this one, it's a mix of both sweet and really strong spiciness, and it's, if you've ever smelled clove before, it really hits you in the face. There's definitely clove in the opening. As well as the clove, you get some really warm spices from the cinnamon. The opening, it's very warm, it's very spicy, and it's definitely very medicinal. As the fragrance develops into the heart, you pick up a little bit of the musk, but generally as the fragrance dries down, it loses that incredibly strong spiciness and that medicinal vibe that I get from the opening, and it dries down to this really warm, very sweet, strong vanilla scent with a touch of resinous amber as well. And in the dry down you still pick up faint hints of the spices from the opening, especially the clove and the cinnamon, and you do pick up a little bit of that medicinal vibe as well. But generally the dry down of Meharees is this really warm is definitely the word I'd use, really warm sweet vanilla with a touch of resinous amber. The dry down is just like this lovely warm blanket. It's incredibly comforting. The vanilla really is the star of the dry down of this scent. Meharees gets a lot of comparisons to Frederic Mars Musk Ravageur. They both share similar notes, and for me they both smell very similar. They both have really similar vibes. Now Musk Ravageur is a niche level fragrance. I think it retails around 185 to 200 pound, around that range here in the UK, so it's definitely very expensive. Meharees on the other hand retails, actually it doesn't retail, you can pick it up on eBay from a seller in Italy if you're based in the UK, and I think they ship all over the world as well, and you can pick it up in the UK around £26, and that includes shipping as well. So that's a massive steal and a massive bargain for the scent you're going to get. Like I've said, it gets compared to Musk Ravageur, and they both share really similar vibes and there's a lot of similarities. However, there are some noticeable differences for me, which kind of distinguish each fragrance from the other. And I find the differences similar to the differences that I find in Chanel Sycamore and Lalique's Encre Noir. Both really dirty, woody, earthy, vetiver scents, but there's some subtle differences between Sycamore and Encre Noir to justify having one or the other, or having both in your collection. For me, where Meharees is different to Musk Ravageur is the fact that I get a much stronger medicinal opening and a much harsher clove opening as well in Meharees. I've seen some reviewers say that Meharees is like Musk Ravageur's dry down throughout, that it's much more toned down and it's much more wearable and it's less funky and skanky than Musk Ravageur. But from my personal experiences, I cannot disagree more. For me, Meharees is much harsher on my skin and it's far more medicinal. The other noticeable difference from Meharees and Musk Ravageur that I found was in the dry down. Musk Ravageur dries down to this really juicy vanilla, really high quality vanilla, but Meharees, even though it does dry down to this amazing comforting vanilla, the vanilla note is not as high quality that you perceive it to be, like you get in Musk Ravageur. Also, the dry down of Meharees, you do get a little bit of resinous amber, and you do pick up a lot more spices and that medicinal feel from the opening than you get in Musk Ravageur. For me, Musk Ravageur, deep into the dry down, you really don't get much of the opening, you don't get much of the clove, you don't get much of anything apart from that vanilla. It's really, really juicy in Muscaravageur. Due to those differences, such as Meharees being harsher, more medicinal, I feel like Meharees is a fragrance in its own right for someone out there. For £26, I think this is an absolute steal, and it's an incredible scent own and a solid pick for the winter months. It's a great comforting scent for the colder weather. Also, I found that Muscaravageur, obviously with that price tag, I feel like that price tag is justified because the ingredients in Muscaravageur just do scream quality when you compare it to Meharees. Muscaravageur, I find the blend to be much smoother, and it just feels more well crafted than Meharees. You really do have to wear one day at a time, and then you can definitely pick out the differences. And I feel like Muscaravageur definitely it really does value its price tag in my opinion, but Meharees at £26, you really can't argue with that price. In terms of projection and longevity performance department, this one was similar to Muscaravageur. I got really strong projection for the first 4 to 5 hours, and after which it sits a little bit more closer to the skin. It doesn't become a massive skin scent. You can definitely pick it up on yourself after the 4 or 5 hour mark, and you do get gentle whiffs of the scent here and there, but it's not a massive sillage monster after the 5 hour mark, if that makes any sense. In terms of longevity, I got around 8 hours, which is very good in my opinion. In terms of seasons, this is a scent which really works in the colder weather, and for me it's best suited to the winter, really cold winter months. I find that the vanilla in the dry down is so comforting, it's like a warm blanket, and so it just really works for the winter. In terms of occasions, I think this one, for me personally, I'd wear this casually, but you could also pull this one off formally if you want as well. I feel like it's due to that opening being quite medicinal and having that quite harsh clove note. I don't think it would work as a date scent. It would be a daring choice, but the vanilla in the dry down is quite pleasing, so it really depends on your significant other. For me, I'm going to give this an overall rating of 4 out of 5. I really do think this is a solid fragrance for the winter months. It smells really good. I love Muscaravageur, and this one really reminds me of Muscaravageur, and the roughness and the differences that I get from Meharees compared to Muscaravageur. For me, I really do enjoy each fragrance in its own right. So I feel like if you already own Muscaravageur and you want to pick this up, then you should. It only costs £26, so I do recommend it. And guys, if you don't have the money to buy a bottle of Muscaravageur, which I don't, I own a little decan, a little sample, then maybe buy a sample of Muscaravageur, but pick up a bottle of Meharees. You really can't go wrong with £26. I think it's a fantastic bargain fragrance. So a final rating of 4 out of 5. Guys, if you've ever had any experiences with Meharees, then let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But until then, I'll see you next time. Thank you. See you later.